Welcome to the War Eagle Radio Network for Talons Out Live with head coach Adam Dolan. Talons Out Live takes you in-depth and behind the scenes of the West Carroll War Eagles with stats, comments, and a breakdown of the previous game, plus a look ahead in the schedule. We'll sit down week Radio Network for another episode of Talons Out Live with Coach Adam Dolan. I'm Jonathan Gowan alongside Adam Welch and Coach Adam Dolan, and we are ready to talk a little bit of football from this past Friday night. Adam Welch, how are you, my friend?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing good, Had a pretty good day and just keeping it rolling on. Coach Dolan, how are you, my friend?
I'm all right. Just got home from practice.
Practice. Y'all have a good practice day. Everything go as you wish.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that ever happens, but it was fine. It was fine, and we had a good day.
Just one of those things where you're like, well, if everybody shows up and we do some good things and make it through it, it's a decent day then, huh?
Yeah, attendance isn't the deal. It's just just staying focused, and that whole shining light thing, getting something that happens and a car horn goes off and it takes 4 minutes for people to come back to you.
I know that I came by this afternoon, and it was probably just a little bit before 5 o'clock, and you've got the lights on and on the main field and getting everything running through everything that you need to. How has this time change this week kind of had a different effect and a different feel to it for you and your guys?
I don't know about them. I love it. Like this time of year gets me excited because this is all I know. Like I love it. When you got to turn the lights on, that means it matters more. I mean, it's a different season now, so no different. Practice hasn't really been any different. Just turn the lights on and finish what we're doing on the game field. And we're not going to be on the field anymore, so not worried really too bad about messing up. It's wet. It's really wet on there right now, but we went on it too long. We were on the practice for the most of it. But, I mean, this time of year, because if we hadn't had the injuries and we hadn't changed a lot of stuff on offense and defense, I'm telling you, I don't know if we'd be on the field. We wouldn't be on the field over an hour and a half. I mean, practicing longer this time of year is really not it most of the time. Now, this week's a little different, but, I've been places where we're on the field only 2 days a week in the playoffs, and that was only for an hour and 15 minutes because you don't get better at blocking and tackling in 1 day. Like it doesn't happen. It's all about the mental preparation this time of year, and injuries and lack thereof, or too many, and game plans, and you are what you are at this point of the year. So it's all about getting ready for the other team.
Right. Let's look back at the McKenzie game on Friday night. I can tell you one thing: the holding the ball on offense for almost 14 minutes the other night was absolutely incredible, neat, cool, a small win in itself to an extent from in my eyes. And I mean, I feel like that whole first quarter, and then when we got that first touchdown in the very beginning of the second quarter, I feel like the fans were really in it, were really behind it. Talk about kind of some of the things that you were going through and your emotions and your mind and stuff whenever we was possessing the ball for that long at the first of a football game.
Well, I mean, that was the plan. I mean, that's been the plan for a while. It's I don't know. Mentally, you're just you're calling a play based off of what you're getting and you're seeing, and you're trying to figure out how they're going to adjust to what you just did. It was really neat. Like, I've never been a part of anything. I've seen some long drives and been a part of some, and then also been on the defense side of the ball and someone had a long drive on you. And it is a very I mean, it's a disgusting feeling. Like when you're, and it's not that McKenzie was playing really bad football or not. It was just, lack of better words, I think we kind of surprised them. And not that what we were doing, because we had been doing it, we were just doing it better. And
Right.
um, they were playing their base structure of defense for what they probably would do against that in all situations. And we just executed. And execution, if that is a very crazy word, because they had to change what they were doing really, really early, and something that I don't know if I'd ever seen them go to do, and just because we were having so much success with it. And I don't know, to the casual fan in person, if they understand that a 4-yard gain for us right now is a beautiful thing, and that's what we want. Not that we wouldn't take longer and more scoring, but it's just a situation. What we're having to do on offense right now is helping the entire team, special teams and defense. So um, it sounds crazy. I would much rather score in a 17-play drive or a 23-play drive it was than in a 4-play drive. And that makes no sense to the casual person, but it does for how we're trying to play the game right now and what we need to do. And that drive is, a wonderful thing. Our kids were super excited. I know the fans were. As coaches, we were. It was just a great moment. But that was the thing. I think a little bit emotionally after they changed, we maybe I don't want to say we were spent emotionally from that, because it wasn't that big of a thing as far. I mean, it's the first quarter. That's why you play 4 of them. We had some moments, in that game. We'll talk about it, I'm sure, here in just a second. But that first drive, it was neat. It was kind of I hate to say the word moral victory, because that's not what it was, but it was a culmination of us getting better, what we've been getting better at it for the last month since the McEwen game. And it was really, really good to see. I know our kids saw it. I think, if anything, hopefully they got a lot of belief going forward that, yeah, McKenzie's a really good football team. They really are. We're playing a good team this week. I don't mean this any second way. Are they McKenzie? No, they're not. So I do, and our kids do, feel like we can have a lot of success on offense as long as we do what we're supposed to do. And not, it's about them too, but we have to take care of our business mentally. And we were doing that at a higher level against McKenzie than we had in weeks.
Right. All right, Adam, let's take a look at some of those stats and stuff that you've got from that McKenzie game. Kind of break some of that stuff down.
You look at the final score: McKenzie 49, West Carroll 6. First downs in the contest: the Rebels 13 and West Carroll 12. Rushing stats for McKenzie: 16 carries for 320 yards. For West Carroll, 44 carries for 149 yards. We look at the passing yards in the game: McKenzie 152, West Carroll 6. For the Rebels, it was Tate Serber. He was 7 out of 10 throwing the football for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns. Zach Fowler, 1 out of 5 for 6 yards and 1 interception. For McKenzie running the football, Tate Serber, 5 carries, 138 yards and 3 touchdowns. Colt Norton, 3 carries for 87 yards and a touchdown. Cole Brown, 1 catch, 85 yards and a score. And Skylar Fournier with 3 rushes for 17 yards. For West Carroll, Zach Hames, 3 carries for 44 yards. Zach Fowler, 13 carries for 38 yards. Trendon Kirby, 11 carries for 36 yards. Mason Taylor, 16 carries for 35 yards. Let's look at penalties. McKenzie, 6 penalties for 59 yards. West Carroll, 4 penalties for 20 yards. Time of possession: the Rebels 36-11 to West Carroll's 32-50. As Jonathan's already mentioned, West Carroll had the opening drive for 13:57 to be exact on that. Coach, we look at this game. We've talked already. Jonathan's brought up about this first drive. Did you feel like it was anything different as far as in the dressing room, or did you have that vibe before the game, or did you feel like this really all came down to your kids and executing a game plan, as you talked about getting better with it each week and getting more comfortable?
the execution of the game plan is the big thing. Each week is its own anomaly in itself with teenagers in the locker room. I didn't feel like it was anything more or less than what it should have been. It seemed fine to me. Kids seemed like they were ready to play. We come out, and we got more confidence as the drive went on. There was definitely a build of confidence on that. But the thing is, after the first quarter, it was over. We go and score. We kick it off. We don't get the onside kick. We don't execute that properly. We very easily could have got the onside kick. We do it the right way. We don't do it. First play on defense, we miss a line, we misfit, we miss cover, and they go and score. So soon as that was over, it didn't matter anymore. It was over. Right. It's done. We've got to find a way to get a few stops on defense. And right now, we're just having problems. Defense is a weird thing, and our guys know this. If you're not very deep, and you're not, you don't have a ton of athleticism, it's hard to play good defense. And when you get up, and we've just been behind that all year, and it just, between injuries and not having enough kids to even give you a scout team to look, and it's just hard to play good defense when you don't get a look in practice and you don't have a lot to tell. And it's just, we got to find a way to get a few stops. And it's not that kids are not playing hard and they're not trying. It's not that they're not giving their best. We're just in a bad bind. We've had to move so many people around to play other spots, and it's just tough. So you're going against guys that are really, really good. All those guys that mentioned with those yards definitely are, older guys, played a lot of football, extremely athletic guys that, made us pay for it. So, and not that we didn't do a few things. I thought our D-line wasn't bad in spots. It's just when the ball broke, we couldn't get those guys on the ground. And that, a lot of times your tackling is an indication of where your eyes were. We weren't very good at that. Our eye discipline hasn't been very good because we've moved so many people around. Youth not being as strong and as talented as older guys. It's hard to get better athletes on the ground sometimes when when you're not in the right spot. And it's just a culmination of a lot of things, but give them credit. Coach Hodge does a great job offensively. He always has, no matter where he's been. In Murray, Kentucky, Dresden, wherever, he's done a great job on offense. So I've always known that. We knew that was going to be tough, but that's why it's important. Going against a talented team, our plan on offense right now is, because of our first quarter, we probably took 2 possessions away from them that they didn't have, and that's valuable, and that's going to be a big thing for us going forward. So if we can find a way to get a few stops, we'll get more confidence on defense, and that's the thing. McKenzie was so well versed; they can do almost anything on offense. They can get heavy and run it. They can widen you out and run it. They can get heavy and throw it. And they can get wide and throw it. They use a bunch of different personnels. They do what they want to. So I thought there were some moments where we played some decent football and defense in spots individually, but as a collection, nowhere near good enough. But, a lot of improvement can be – we did some things that I think we can improve on and hopefully, take it forward this week when we go play Richmond.
Coach, you look at the second quarter as we go toward the half, and this is one thing that really stood out to me. This game could have very easily been a 1-touchdown game going into half. And 4th and goal, great call there on the pass from Fowler to Taylor. You can't convert, and you're just really close on that pass. And then McKenzie turns around, and Serber finds Colt Brown for a 48-yard touchdown pass right at the half. Talk about, how frustrating that was a little bit. As good as your kids played, I thought, in the entire first half, that those last 2 or 3 minutes, how it just seemed like things just didn't go your way.
No, and it started like that whole thing. We got 2 possessions in the first half. That's it. And they go and score. We get stepped on the center quarterback exchange. We try to hand the ball off, fumble the ball. They scoop and score on our second possession. Now it's 14-6. We get a good return. Mason's fighting for every yard, fumbles the football. A couple plays later, they score, and you're in a hole 21-6. We get the ball in the next possession and truly have a possession. We go down the field again like we did in the first drive and had a chance to score right there. So, we could have easily not turned the ball over in that second possession and maybe go down and score. Could have had the lead again.
Oh, yeah.
It could have easily been a tie football game.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no excuse for us to give up that Hail Mary pass with time left on the clock. I'm not going to be, frustrated right now, but they gave them 10 seconds and didn't start the clock on one when they winded it. That was a complete malfunction by the officiating crew and the clock operator.
Yeah.
Completely screwed us over. It happened. Got to move on, but that shouldn't have happened from the get-go. And first of all, we should have not gave up that pass. Completely on me, completely on us as coaches, not having our guys exactly where we needed to. The effort was fine. We just I don't really even have a great explanation of it. I don't know. Just wasn't what we needed. Shouldn't have happened. Even though, but you take like I said, can't turn the football over. We had 2 turnovers. We gave up that. Could have easily could have been 14, whatever. 14, 12, and had a chance in the third quarter that no one on earth would have thought, So it's that's frustrating for sure because it was just us, not executing the way we needed to and playing as clean as we can. And it was a wonderful message this week to know that you can go execute against those guys, and then when you don't, you get beat. If you execute cleanly, you're in a game with the best team in 1A. And I don't mean to say, the polls say it. You see the scores. Like, I'll say it. It is what it is. Like, it's not sugarcoating anything. They ought to win the state championship. Like, if they don't crash the bus, they should win it.
Yeah.
So, with that said, that doesn't mean that we can't get to our ceiling. And, I totally think that if we play with the same energy, the same physicalness, and we are clean penalty-wise, and that's not been a big deal. The penalties haven't been a bad thing. We don't turn the football over this week. We're going to go, hopefully, I think we can go down there and do something no one is going to think we're going to have a chance to do. And our guys are very confident this week in that we can go down there and win this game. Not compete, but win. And that's the only reason to go down there. It's not to enjoy a bus ride and have a nice meal. It's to go down there and win a football game. And our focus is 100% on that this week for sure. And there was a little bit of quiet confidence come out of that game, knowing that if we fix us, then we can play with anybody we're going to see going forward.
Talk a little bit about Zach Hames, Trendon Kirby, Mason Taylor. I'm looking at it here, and those 3 combined for almost 90 yards just between them 3 there. And when you add Zach Fowler in, those 4 go over 100 together. Talk about that foursome, all 4 of those guys, and how you seem to have maybe found something here with Jaden being out recently, and with Mason and Trendon and Zach, and how they've all 3 really stepped up.
They've stepped up, but the thing is, just do your job. Just block the guy you're supposed to block the best of your ability, run the ball, protect the football the best of your ability, go where the ball is supposed to go. Just do your job. And they have done a good job of doing that, and they've grown from that. They're all dealing with little nicks and bruises. Trendon and Mason were playing middle school basketball at this time last year. They played other sports, so I haven't had a ton of time with them in the weight room. This time of year, freshmen are, they're physically worn out if they've been playing a lot, and they both have. So, but they keep working. They're there every day. The attitudes, they're prepare and get better. They ask great questions, and effort's not a problem. So, nothing but good remarks going forward with those guys. Those guys have good football character, and we can definitely build for the future with them. And Zach does the same thing too. Him being an older guy, he stepped in on offense and done more for offense than he ever has. And again, high effort, high energy, just doing what he's asked. And of course, Zach, adding him to the punch there at quarterback with the lack of being able to throw it a little bit, having to run the Q some. And then, I'm not going to try to hide anything. Jaden's going to play this week, and we fully expect him to, be healthy, go out there and play as hard as he can. We're going to play hard everywhere else, and we're still going to, do what we've been doing and, just add him to the mix in different ways and continue to progress and get better at what we're doing, because we have found something that's helped in fitness. Not that we couldn't go back and do some of the things that we did earlier in the year, but I don't know if that would help our defense right now. So big believer. You got to win the game, and sometimes you might want to do a lot of things on offense you think you can do them, but it's not a good match for everything else on the team. So we're going to continue to get better at what we're doing, and then defensively this week, I do believe everyone that watches the stream or goes and attends in person. I think we're going to see a better defensive effort this week. Not effort. It's not an effort problem. I shouldn't have said that. I misspoke. I think our execution on different defense is going to be better this week.
Yeah.
It's a good team. Richland's good on offense. They are. They do a good job at quarterback. Number 15, the receiver. He's a really good player. We got to know where he's doing at all times. Their O-linemen are really athletic and active, not overly powerful or big in spots, but they play hard. They're very old, lots of seniors. They're well coached. They won that region for, a reason. They've played well all year. Defensively, I think there's things that we match up with them that I really, really like and the kids like, and we've watched a lot of film this week. Adding Jaden to the mix is exciting, both on offense and defense, but we've got a little confidence right now. I don't think we've got the same vibe that we've had the last couple of years where I think there was, let's be honest, some guys wanted to be done. And I haven't sensed that this week. I think our guys are wanting to go play and win this football game just because everyone says we can't. So that's always fun and exciting for us. We've had that motto and chip on our shoulder all year. So why not us, I guess.
As far as the passing game, Zach Fowler 1 out of 5 for 6 yards against the Rebels for the season. This stat I'm about to give you now is a combination of Fowler and, of course, Pruitt at quarterback till his injury. Quarterback situation this year, 38 out of 68 throwing the football. Not bad. 579 yards total for the season, and 3 interceptions. Coach, talk a little bit about throwing the football. Was that something that crossed your mind against McKenzie, or was it something really, Coach, that wasn't really in the game plan, and how you executed the first quarter was kind of how you wanted to execute throughout, as far as maybe trying to keep the ball out of McKenzie's hands?
This is so crazy. 6 passes against that kind of team is way too many passes.
Yeah.
In our situation right now. Now that situation changes, can change. The week before we scored, over half 100 and didn't throw a pass. So
right.
Now competition way different, but it's just not that we can't, not that we have it's not that we don't want to. I mean, if someone plays a certain look that, it's something that we can do and it's there, we've got some things that we like and we will do it. It's just something we got to grow and get better at. We're just not very deep. We're very young at our skill position spots, and we're not manipulating the ball as well as I'd like to see it. As far as throwing and catching it as well as I want to, it's just not where we can. And if we send a bunch of young guys out there that can't threaten you very deep or beat one-on-one coverage, then they're going to overload our protection and send more than we can block and hit the only quarterback we have remaining in the face. And there's just a list of things that could happen wrong if we start doing that, So we've got to do what we think that is our best bet, and that's we've got some experience on the O-line now. We got some size. We got some guys able to block from the backfield. We got multiple runners. We feel like we can coach it up. We're always I always am going to be that guy, and whatever that may be, sounds whatever. I always feel like I can figure out a plan offensively on the O-line that we can run the football. We're going to find a way to, put our best foot forward, and the plan is going to be sound. I'm a big believer in that, and our kids know that we are going to work a plan, and they know the process to how we're going to work the plan going forward, from the film to the walkthroughs to how we practice it to how we talk about it. Like, that is a huge part of what I want going forward, is knowing how to play the game, not just going out there and running plays, but there's a reason why you do everything and how it all fits together. This week, the passing game, I mean, if there's certain things that we can definitely do against these guys in the passing game, it's just, you just don't go out there to do it. If they give you a bad look, you can't just go out there and do it. That's how bad things happen. So it's got to, definitely be set up through the run game. And if we can get them to overplay a few things here and there, we can definitely get the ball out on the perimeter. And that's something we want to definitely do. We got some different ways to do it this week, especially with Jaden coming back. It gives us another, element to the run game and passing game and all those different things. So it's exciting to get him back. I know he's been itching to do it. Last week, we definitely got him that one play during senior night. He got to play during senior night, one play. So he's healthy going forward this week. He's done a great job with the PT, so we're excited to get him back. And same for the other guys. They've all been around, and definitely going forward. It's not negative because those guys have been hurt. They've all been around and been in the games, and they're still heavily part of the team. And going forward, hopefully we can keep playing. If we can keep playing and win, Kimarion should be back in a week or two. If we can get him back, that adds another element to hopefully, if he can get cleared, he's on pace. So we might potentially, if we can win around and shock everybody, we can maybe get him back. So it would be really neat to see those guys be able to finish the season on their own way, instead of just saying the injury got them. So that's what we're hoping to do, go win Friday, and hopefully we can get Q back.
As we go into the Richland game, you've had all kind of obstacles that's come your way this year with this team. It's been injuries. It's been you've had to, bring up some eighth graders who's done a great job considering all the circumstances. Talk a little bit about these obstacles you've encountered, and are you hoping now that you've went through this 10-game stretch and this McKenzie game where, you played really well for almost a half. You fell, as we talked about, we fell a little shy there to end the half. But talk a little bit about, are you hoping maybe that some of this now, this adversity you have faced will get you battle tested here in the playoffs?
Adversity is, I guess that's the easiest way to say it. I could write a book, I think, on everything that's happened since April till now. Not to say there hadn't been positives and good things. And that's what happens. You're coaching kids and, you're in public education and things change. And there's 100 things, 200 things that have changed. And people transfer in and out. And you lose kids to this. And you go from 30 kids to 20 kids. And you got injuries. And can't practice the way you want to practice. And you got a whole new coaching staff, basically. 3 new guys on our staff. So that, and there's just been a lot of things that I don't know if everyone knows about behind the scenes. Not that it's the player's fault or anything like that, just things that happen, circumstances that you got to roll with the punches and make the best of. And I love the fact that we had a bunch of injuries in one game, which was crazy. So you have injuries as part of it, but the way it happened, the style that it happened could derail some young guys, could derail the team. Man, our guys haven't really flinched. I mean, and I love them for that because they've trusted the coaching staff, I believe. I think they've trusted the fact that, hey, this is what we're doing. This is the plan. We're going to go play. No excuses. We expect good things. Easy as that. Go play. It sounds easy, but, man, you got to have that thought process, and you got to talk about it a lot. And the obstacles, you've always got obstacles, but, man, we have went through some stuff, and cannot be more proud of this team. And just things that our guys hear, they heard early in the season, in the summer. I'll say it a little bit. There wasn't a whole lot of people around them that had a lot of faith in them in some spots to win many games. And the fact that we, went 5-5 and, left some things out there. Would I like to play FACS right now, with what we're doing? Yeah, I definitely would. Definitely would like to play McEwen again, and that's the thing going forward. We've talked about. We win this game this week. McEwen wins at home. We go to McEwen next week, and hopefully have Jaden back. Could have Q back. Unfortunately, Ben won't be back, but with what we're doing now, man, would it be so good and so cool to go back and try to play those guys with a better situation and ready to go. Like we would cherish that. And I'm telling you, line them up, let's go play them. There's a little bit of confidence with that now. So that's exciting, but man, I think our kids know that we can overcome some stuff now. We have gotten better. That was one of the goals I talked about from the first show on here. Can we get better week by week, month by month? Are we finishing this? Are we finishing the season on a high note? Are we finishing it better than we started? Well, in ways, no, because we're not as we don't have all our guys out there, and we've had to change everything. But in ways, as far as the big picture, we've 100% gotten better and grown. We've basically changed what we are and do, and gotten better each week. So I think from that, as far as the goal, has been great. Have we reached our ceiling? No, but we're going to try this week to reach it, because if we do reach our ceiling this week, we're going to win. We're going to prove everyone wrong and shock the world. Shock whatever, maybe not the world, but that's the mindset. Our guys, I think they're ready. I wish we could go play tomorrow. I think our guys are going to be ready to go when we get off the bus, and I expect us to have a great effort. And if we execute on both sides of the ball, we have a great chance. I don't know what Vegas would have the spread at right now with a 4 seed coming to a 1 seed, but I'm sure it would be 3 or 4 touchdowns probably, and that's exciting to know that we're an underdog. I like the role, but obstacles and all that adversity, it's made us a little better. I think we've got a little grit to it now. So
yeah,
it's been a positive year. I mean, it really has. We've done a lot of growing. To know that we lost as many seniors as we did, and had a head coaching change, and had all these kids transfer, and adversity and injuries, and basically had the same record from last year.
Right.
I don't know, people on the outside that just look at a screen that sees win and losses and points scored or not, don't get it. They have no clue. And that's why we try to tell our kids all the time, don't listen to the crap on social media. Someone looks at something from behind a keyboard, they don't know what they're talking about. So, keep all the chatter and the noise out, and just, do what we're doing, get better at what you're doing, and be a good teammate, be a good player, try your best to be a good player. That's why you're out there, to have fun and be as good as you can be. And we've got a lot of guys that are way better now than what they were in August, much less, June, July, and even in the summer. So I can't say anything bad about the season. You're going to have obstacles. It's just how you roll with it and respond to it. And I think our guys have responded as well as we could have hoped.
You mentioned the spread. I got tickled before the McKenzie game. Their broadcaster Craig Lunn, he sent me a message. He said, "What do you think the spread's going to be?" And I said, "Probably Hometown Grocery Deli pimento and cheese." That's just messing with him. But so hopefully we don't have to worry about too much of the spread. Um, I wanted to mention that we talked about having the seniors on one of these episodes, and maybe even go to the field house and stuff. And I know you brought up they're not very talkative, some of the seniors that we got this year. So let's give them their accolades, I guess. Each individual senior that you've got, talk a little bit about each one of them and kind of the roles that they've had throughout the last 2 or 3 years, and especially this year in their senior year. Kind of talk about each one of them, and what their roles have been, and what they've been even inside the locker room, as far as, uplifting or the class clown or whatever inside the locker room, and also kind of what you've seen that they've placed onto the field.
Oh, well, having 3 seniors is a challenge in itself. Vastly different guys, 3 guys, very different. Start with Jaden there. Everyone knows who he is. Been on the field a ton, played a ton of football. If he wants to play at the next level, I believe he's going to play at the next level. He's going to have every opportunity to, and I think that's a goal that he has, and I think that's going to happen. Of course, no one wants to have any injuries your senior year, but Jaden has made a great transformation as far as how going from being a teenager to a young man this year. About to get out in the real world. Huge jump in his personality. His mentality. Who he is as far as on and off the field from last year to this year. Way better teammate than people give him credit for. Some people have questioned that on the outside. You look at the athletic part of it, all the stats that he's had and all those things. If he doesn't miss all that time, no question in my mind, he's going to be a semifinalist for Mr. Football. And that would have been awesome. But, you send emails out like I have, and you don't get any response because they look at the stats and he hadn't played 4 or whatever games. That's a challenge. That's frustrating. But he's meant a lot to our team. Meant a lot from the pure football standpoint. He's a really good talent. Good in the he's been really good in the locker room this year, a lot better than it was in the past. He's grown up, and you can say that like people grow up and get better, and he's done a ton of that, and I'm very, very proud of that. And he's going to have a chance, like I said, to the next level and do all that if he wants to, and I know he does, and I'm excited about that. And that's the thing, he's not done yet. We'll see how this week goes. I feel good about it. I know he feels good about it. He's ready to go, and he really wanted to go last week, but we had to take some precautions. But Tice, big transformation from the physical, getting faster, getting more leaner, getting stronger, managing his body better. He's made strides every single year. I've been here for 3 years. I didn't get to coach him as freshman, but Tice is more of a quiet guy, but very intelligent guy, smart guy, knows the game well. He's played more football this year than he ever has because he's played both sides of the ball and started both sides of the ball this year and done a great job for us, as a first-year starter on the O-line, doing that. And on defense, trying to manage snaps and trying to be in more shape. That's been the big thing. And he knew it going forward, and he's been better this year because of it, because he had a really good summer. He put a lot of time into, honing in on that. And very proud of him. And he'll have a chance to play at the next level if he wants to, and I think he can. It's just finding the right fit where he needs to be and how they want to use him. And Tice is, like I said, he's a little bit more quiet, but not that he doesn't speak or anything like that. Some people think that, but he does, and he's a funny guy in his own way. We joke back and forth quite a bit. So those two guys have been with us the most. Played here in middle school, and then you got Zach Ames. This year, I think he started playing the first year I was here as a sophomore. He's a homeschool guy. He's another guy that's pretty quiet. And he's still learning the game. Didn't grow up playing it and stuff. Very sneaky athletic. He loves to lift. He's done a great job in the weight room, transformed his body. Very physical. He's played physical football. We put him at inside linebacker. He's led us in tackles this year. Had a good feeling in the spring that he was going to have a really good season for us. Made a huge jump from last year to this year as far as his playing, just because he got more comfortable. And, he's got plans for, out of school already, and he's going to be successful because he's a good guy. He comes from a good family, and he's got a bright future. And, football is still new to him, but, he's got a great attitude. Comes out there, works hard. That's never going to be in question. And I'm proud of them. They stuck with it. Could have been easy for them not to in different ways, in different times. But, they've always responded well to me, I think. And we all three have a good relationship with each other in different relationships. Our Zach's relationship with me is different than Jaden's relationship and vice versa. Not one is more important than the other, but just different. So, like I said, 3 different cats, 3 different guys, 3 different backgrounds and things like that. But very proud of them. They've all 3 had really good senior years. They've all improved from junior year to senior year. And, that's great to see. I'm glad that they've been able to see that and go forward. And I hope all our people that watch them, know the work that they put in, their families. I know they're very proud of them. They all come from good families. Very proud of their people that's around them and their support system. They've done great jobs with those guys, and they're all 3 going to be successful in whatever they choose to do.
Inside the locker room and stuff, I mean, was there one of them that really stood out to you more than any of them that just kind of was maybe the crazy one or the top leader of the bunch? Which one kind of really stood out to you more than anything?
That's a good question. I don't know. Our locker room dynamic is a lot better, and I don't mean to say that badly, but it's a lot better than it was because we don't have nowhere near as many cliques, and we got more of a togetherness with that. But I don't know about crazy. I'm probably the crazy one. we're still a little too young to be a player-led team. We're not that point yet that I want it, but it's growing in little bitty ways. I don't know. I don't think we have a crazy locker room, anything like that. It's locker rooms are locker rooms. Everything's different. Everywhere you go is a little different. No, I don't think it's been bad leadership or great over the top, unbelievable leadership like that. Leadership is in different ways. I think our locker room's gotten better definitely this year, just because of, I think, what we talked about earlier. The adversity has made it easier to stay together and get through it. It could have broken and fractured other teams, but luckily it didn't do that, to us. I don't know. Locker room dynamics kind of its own world, and we're big on, hey, what happens in the locker room stays in the locker room kind of thing. What happens in the weight room stays in the weight room. It's kind of our little bond. Like, we don't. I'm big on, and I know some people don't like that about me, but I don't like broadcasting what we're doing all the time. We're not into it for hearts and like emojis. We just we're going to work, and we're going to try to make the product as good as it can be, and we kind of just try to keep that sacred to us, that what we're doing, and it will factor in longer down the road. It'll mean more that way, I think, to the kids, because it always did to guys around me like that. So that's what I think we've got. I think we've improved that, and I think that's one of the goals this year was, at the end of the year, how was our vibe in the locker room? And our vibe is still, it's good. It's some days are better than others based off what kind of day it was, but it's a pretty good thing that we got going on right now in there.
Coach, talk about Richland. Final question here. Your 3 keys to victory for Friday night. Richland is 7-3 overall regular season, and West Carroll 5-5. You can kind of throw the regular season numbers out the window, as we know when you get to the playoffs in any sport.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 0-0 week 1 kind of mindset. Richland, historically they've bounced from 1A to 2A. They're actually going into the next cycle. They're going to be the big enrollment wise. Them and McKenzie will have the biggest enrollment in 1A. That team is like I said, they bounced around. They've been more successful the last couple of years. I think it's a lot because of their senior group. Their senior group has been the catalyst for them. Their quarterback, senior, Blaine Woodard, done a good job, got a lot of moxie. They got some guys that rotated running back that are seniors. They got some O-linemen, D-linemen seniors, receivers. Like, they're old and they're experienced. They played a lot of football. Offensively, they got good scheme. They're going to stress us in the passing game for sure. They can play fast, which is going to be a big stressor for us. Being able to line up, get the call, not being able to sub a lot is a worrisome thing. Defensively, I think they play hard. I think they're coached. Their scheme is a little different than what we've seen lately, which is not a bad thing, but could be a really good thing, but not a bad thing. Their special teams is pretty good, and they've got a kicker that's not bad. Good thing is I like seeing good kickers because they kick the ball up in the air and you catch it and get returns. So we're excited about that. I think they're just they're a good 1A football team. They've got some depth. They got a lot of kids on the roster. They'll have 45, 55 kids on their sideline, and they got some depth and played a lot of football. They're old. It's going to be a heck of a challenge because they've got some good players for sure, and they've won some good games. They've battle tested. They've been in some 1 and 2 score games this season. So it's definitely not going to be an easy deal, but I think we match up well with them in a lot of places, and it's a good. I think it's a good draw. It could have been worse. It could have been, you could have got somebody that physically it's not a good matchup with. I think we do match up with them in a lot of ways. So we're excited to go down there and play them. 2.5-hour trip this time of year. You're going to go on the road. It's going to be a decent little drive. So the drive's what it is. We're going to go play, and it should be fine with that. But as far as them, I got a lot of respect for what they're doing on offense for sure. I think they play hard. They got a lot of momentum going from their Moore County win this last week because they got smacked around pretty good the week before, and they rebounded really well. So that's a
Yeah.
a good trait from a veteran team. They put that behind them, went out, had to win the region, and they did against a team that had their number for the last few years. So that's shows you what kind of they have in them, because they're old and they're ready to go. And then winning a region, I can't remember the last time they've done anything like that. So it's going to be a heck of a test, but we are confident in what the plan is and how we can play against them going forward. As far as keys to success, not over the top different. When you talk about offensively, I don't know if it's one or two or three, but it's if we can limit the turnovers to maybe one or maybe none, which would be awesome, and not have the pre-snap penalties to where we're in 2nd 15 or 2nd and 12 or 1st and 15. If we can get in and out of the huddle, no delay games, no snap infractions, no flinches, and all that good stuff that happens. Limit all that mess. Holding penalties are going to happen. You're going to hold a guy, and that's an effort penalty sometimes. But after the play, no 15-yard penalties because we did something stupid. We're not using our brain. If we can just play clean, I think offensively we're going to have some success. I really do. Defensively, so offense, of course, it's going to be the execution. It's going to be a lot of the pre-snap stuff and post-snap. I feel like during the play, we're going to be fine. Defensively, I hate to be like this. If the game is going to go our way, we've got to find a way to get 4 stops. If that's a stop a quarter, it don't matter. Hopefully we can limit them to only 6 to 7 possessions, maybe no more than 8. They get 8 possessions. We stop them half the time. They score half the time. We keep it in the 20s. We can win this game for sure. And just being honest, I don't know if we can go out there and score 40 and 50 on them, but I don't know if they can do that either with the time. Yeah. So find a way to get some stops. And people talk about, well, you don't think you're going to stop them. No, they're going to be successful. They're going to have some success. We're going to get them. They're going to get us. And we got to find a way to play to that. If we get more than half the stops, we're going to win the game. I believe that. So we've got that. And I think our guys are excited about that because there it is. We can talk about it. Let's not, talk about it with a whisper. Let's really discuss it. How are we going to get those? Is that 2 punts, a turnover, and a 4th down stop? Is that 4 turnovers? Like whatever it needs to be. Can we get 4 stops? Because if you get 4 stops, we can win the game for sure. So that's the challenge. Can we go out there and find a way to do it? And then number 3 is don't let the moment be anything more than what it is. It's a playoff game. It's the first round of the playoffs. It's a road football game against a 1A team. Just go play football and don't make it more than what it is. They're going to line up. We're going to line up and go play. There's not going to be any extra pressure, anything like that. Just go play. And don't worry about how far the trip is. It's 2.5 hours. It's in the grand scheme of things, that's not as far. It's not that far. To me, it's not, but whatever. Just don't worry about those things. Don't worry about it's getting a little cooler. It could be wet. Don't worry about it. Just go play 11 on 11. And if we can keep that in front, get the 4 stops, if they want to give us more, if we can get more stops than that, we'll gladly take them. And then also on offense, if we can execute and not mess up, I think we can go and score and be very successful and, hopefully come back with a win. And boy, we'd like to go to McEwen.
You mentioned a little bit about the don't make it more than what it really is. I've got some numbers for that, and this is based on the Richland side. How is their mentality going to be? What are they going to be coming in like? 1989, 35 years ago, was the last time that Richland was a region champion. So what do you feel like is going to be in their mind? Are they going to come in there, thinking that, oh gosh, this is big, we got to make sure this happens, and be all kind of up in arms? Or do you feel like that they're going to have that momentum that we've got to go up against?
I would say it's maybe twofold. Number one, that Moore County win that they had last week, and it was a convincing win. I'm sure they're really confident in the fact that they beat a team that they haven't been able to beat. They did it won their region. They're at home hosting a team coming, to them probably a far drive, outgunned, outmanned, all these things. They got all these positives. They're going to be. I'm sure their coaches are not going to let them overlook us. I don't think they would. I hope they do. That'd be nice. But I'm sure that no one's going to give us much of a chance if you look at stats and try to really compare scores. No one's giving our region much credit. Everyone expects McKenzie to roll through and then our 2 seed, 3 seed, 4 seed to get beat. So, and that happened last year. It happened last year. So, maybe there's some reason for that. But I think that also the way we did play in the first quarter and them watching film and doing that and all the stuff that comes with that, that might have got their attention a little bit, that they're going to have to prepare a different way. We do some things on offense that they haven't seen for an entire game. They've seen packages of it, I think, some the films that we've seen. So we represent, I think, something that they're going to have to do a little differently. How they do it, that's going to be the thing. We got some ideas with how they'll play us, but, until we get out there and see play 1, 2, go through, the game, how are they going to play us? So, and then I'm sure they look at us and know that they feel like they can throw it quite a bit. We've struggled in the secondary and on the perimeter, getting guys down and covering everybody up because it's just been an issue, and we won't go on everything, but it's just been an issue. But I'm sure they want to throw it. And then again, I feel like we've got some things ready to go on defense, and our guys are going to be ready to go. And today was a really good day in that regard as far as that part of the defense. So I am excited to go see us fight and compete and get better at that. And if we do, and we show a lot of improvement on defense, I feel like we can definitely win this game. It's just got to handle our side of it, take care of our stuff mentally. So they represent a tough challenge because I do think they're going to be very confident. And I think the school and that community is confident because they've been getting better for a while now. This is finally their time kind of breaking through. They've updated their field quite a bit. They got the cool LED lights, and when they score, the lights are going to change a whole lot, and it's going to be some of the stuff you see on TV. And I'm sure they'll have a big crowd, and I absolutely love it. Good. I hope they're loud. I hope they're passionate. I hope they're all those things, and we can come down there and hopefully quiet them down a little bit.
Yeah, and we need to go as a big group, big fans, bring the cowbells, and like you said, see if we can quieten them down from the grandstands as well.
Oh yeah, I'm confident that we'll have a good crowd. I think the weather's going to be really nice. I hope people can come down and see it. Last year in the playoffs when we hosted. That was a weird deal. I don't think we're not going to look like that. We're going to play, and we're going to play hard. And I've got a good feeling that I think whatever happens one way or the other, we're going to play, and it's going to be a better game than people think. I think that. I believe that. Who knows? But I believe that, and it's going to be something people are going to be proud of one way or the other. And I'm just don't be surprised Saturday morning if we come home and we're getting ready to play another one. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, that's the ideal deal that you want to come away with a victory and keep going, and kind of use one of those quotes from Coach Morris last year. You want to be playing when they turn the Christmas lights on. So that lets you know that you've went a pretty good ways right there. So, but everybody needs to come on out there Friday night. Make the trip to Richland. Find you a good spot to eat somewhere, and go support your West Carroll War Eagles and see if we can play one more and continue on. See if we can get a victory and move along in this. So if you're unable to make the trip, we're going to make it for you. Hometown Grocery Daily pregame show at 6:30 and the kickoff at 7 on the War Eagle Radio Network. All your normal spots that you can check that out. So we're going to be on the ground in a tent again this time, and Adam up in the grandstand. So we'll make it work. We'll figure it out, and and carry on. So y'all tune in or make the trip and make it happen. So Coach Dolan, we appreciate your insight as always, and
Appreciate y'all.
let's go take care of it on Friday night.
We're going to definitely try to for sure. I know our guys are they're confident and they really want the people to watch and everything like that, and they've been really appreciative of everyone that's come to the games. We've had good crowds all season, and our guys are going to fight. We're just going to try to make everyone proud the way we fight. So that's what we're going to do.
Right. All right. Well, I reckon that'll do it. Adam Welch, I appreciate you getting
Yes,
all
sir.
the things taken care of with the stats and such. And Coach Dolan, once again, appreciate your insight. And we'll talk to everybody when it gets to Friday night. And go out there, show your support for these West Carroll War Eagles, and see if we can win one more. Take your cowbells. And like I said, if you're unable to make the trip and unable to attend, Hometown Grocery Daily pregame show starts at 6:30 and the kickoff at 7 o'clock on the War Eagle Radio Network. So that'll do it for this edition of Talons Out Live. On behalf of Adam Dolan, Adam Welch, I'm Jonathan Gowan, and we will talk to you Friday night on the War Eagle Radio Network.